The Los Angeles Lakers are the NBA's 2020 champions.
I got a dream and it's all I see. I got my team and it's all I need.
Congratulations to Jeanie Buss, the Buss family.
You guys, come take the trophy. Let this trophy serve as a reminder of when we come together, believe in each other, incredible things can happen.
In 2020, she became the first female governor to win an NBA championship as the Lakers tied a league record with their 17th title. This season, the Lakers are fourth in the West with LeBron James and Anthony Davis both out with injuries. The wonderful Jeanie Buss. Welcome to Stephen A's World. How are you, Jeanie? How's everything? It's always great to see you. As you've had an opportunity to reflect on what you were able to achieve last year. I know you in terms of what the Lakers mean to you, how it was a collective accomplishment or whatever, but you, again, being the first female governor to pull this off, what did it mean to you on a personal level?
The perseverance and the resiliency of this team playing in a bubble, considering that we started the season literally a calendar year it took to win that championship, showed their determination and their dedication to each other, as well as our Frank Vogel and his fabulous coaching staff, that they were able to stay motivated, being in a bubble, and being the last team standing really made this championship that much more special.
So many people have heard your story and so much about your story and how wonderful of a story it is. But considering what you had to deal with, and I don't want to get into all of it, but obviously you took over, in terms of making basketball decisions when you took that over from your brother a few years ago. Reflecting on what the last or the previous 5 to 6 years was like for you, can you put into perspective what you endured and how you came out on top the way that you did last year?
Well, it was really important to my father that the team stay in the family and run the same way he ran the team. I like to say that my dad had his children, but the Lakers were his baby. And he put me in charge of the baby. In the 32 years that he ran the team, they only missed the playoffs twice. And here we were going on 5, 6 years without being in the playoffs. It was just not Laker basketball. And the decisions had to be made that were tough, but it was important to restore the legacy that my father started. And that was to, the first thing, putting Magic Johnson in place. And then because of that, being able to draw a player like LeBron James in free agency. We had struck out in free agency over the last few years, and we were slowly rebuilding through the draft, which is really difficult in any sport to play with so many young players. But getting LeBron James put us on the path to where we are today, and that's back at the top of the NBA in the conversations to be one of the best teams in the league and hopefully defend our trophy.
Jeanie, one of the most compelling things I think people have just glossed over, and they haven't brought this up enough. I remember when Magic Johnson decided to leave the Los Angeles Lakers as president of basketball operations or what have you. One of the things that folks almost never bring up is the fact that he talked about Dr. Jerry Buss, your dad, and what a great, great man he was and how he was so beloved. And he said people don't realize that's how people talk about Jeanie Buss. To know her is to love her. To know her is to recognize how special she is. And if anybody can get people to want to be a Laker again, it is Jeanie Buss. As you hear something like that said about you, what comes across your mind as to who you are and how you've represented the Lakers family and the Buss family in your stewardship over the franchise?
I think people in my position are there to, create a platform for talent, to give them all the resources that they need to be successful, to meet their own expectations, possibly even exceed them if they're put in the right place in order to be successful. And that's really what I think I bring is a dedication to the individual athlete who wants to be part of something bigger than just himself and compete on a championship level. And it's hard to win a championship, but you need all the right pieces in the right places. And you make it so that the players have the best possible chance to win and be the last team standing.
Jeanie, being a female in a male-dominated industry per se, that's one challenge. But you had another challenge, to me anyway, at the time. And that's when Steve Ballmer came on board, simply because the Buss family is basically controlling the Lakers for 4 decades. But you got a billionaire that came in that was worth tens of billions of dollars as the owner of the Clippers. And we were sitting there saying, I said, wait a minute, he's got a lot of money to spend. What could happen here, whatever? When that challenge was presented itself, as a Laker, we look at the purple and gold and we say the Lakers are the Lakers. Did you have that mentality, or did you embrace it as a stiff challenge that the Lakers needed to get their game up because we got a new player in town and obviously he's got a lot of money?
The previous owner of the Clippers was a billionaire as well. So that really, take that out of the equation.
Okay.
I was an advocate for Steve Ballmer. I met with him as he was thinking about bidding for the team. And I encouraged him to buy the team. It's really important to me, the success of the league, and that we have people that are involved at team ownership levels who are committed to winning, committed to doing the right things to be successful. And I advocated for him, and I'm happy that he's a partner in this league. We've shared the market with the Clippers for over 30 years. It's really nothing new. He's got to run the team in the way that he sees fit, just as we run the team that we do.
Let me move on to on the court. Right now, you're the 4th seed in the Western Conference. We know that LeBron's been out. Now, me personally, Jeanie, I'm on the record. I don't care if LeBron James out for the next month. He's earned it. The man doesn't take too many days off. He takes care of himself. I could care less about LeBron James being off because I know he's going to be ready. I am a touch worried about Anthony Davis. What about you? How are you feeling about this team health-wise? How are you feeling about this team as the months progress towards another playoff berth?
It's not fun having your 2 top players out. I've been proud of the way the team has kind of bounced back. We had a nice win last night, but I'm looking forward to getting those 2 guys back, and certainly the addition of Andre Drummond, who we picked up in the buyout market, will certainly fortify a season where we've had to deal with injuries and COVID. Having Marc Gasol, who was our starting center, was out for several weeks with COVID, and a really tough case that he's on a minutes restriction, even though he's back in the lineup. So, every team's dealing with these kind of challenges, but I'm with you. I think LeBron will come back even better than he was before, and ready for the challenge to defend the title. And that's what's important, is that they get back healthy, 100% healthy before they come back, so that they stay healthy for the playoffs.
Let me take a moment to give Rob Pelinka some love because, listen, you won the title last year, and I love the pickup of Andre Drummond because the man walks around grabbing 13 to 15 rebounds a game. He averaged over 13 rebounds a game for his career. That's a great pickup as far as I'm concerned. How much attention do you pay to the competition? Because when we think about the Lakers, of course, if LeBron is AD is healthy, we think the Lakers are the favorites to come out of the West. Once upon a time, you're the favorites to win it all. But in Brooklyn, they got KD, Kyrie, James Harden, and seem to be getting everybody else but the equipment manager. How much are you keeping your eyes on those things going on, Jeanie?
Like I said, it's like if it brings out the best in us, that teams, if teams identify us as the team to beat and they're gearing up to go at us, head to head, that makes us work harder. I think our coaching staff with Frank Vogel and Lionel Hollins and Jason Kidd and Phil Handy, they love the challenge. That's what they do. That's why they're in this business. So bring it on. I wish everybody well in it, as we lead into the playoffs. And that's what makes this so exciting. You got to watch what's going to happen next in the NBA.
Jeanie, with COVID-19, I'd be remiss in neglecting to get into that. I'm personally hoping that, particularly with the vaccines being out and millions upon millions of people taking that vaccine, we are anticipating that the NBA will have a lot of crowds come playoff time. You and I were talking before you came on the air, and you talked about how you expected some fans to come on before the playoffs, but obviously it's going to be around 10% capacity, stuff like that. You go to places like Texas and Florida, maybe, it's considerably different. How are you feeling about that? Because from an equitable perspective, it's a bit different in LA than it is in Texas, Florida, and stuff like that. How are you feeling about fans returning to the games?
Well, we follow the LA County rules and restrictions, and we will do everything that they dictate. We want to keep our fans safe. That's important to us. But, I'm a little bit jealous that the LA Dodgers are going to have fans for their opening game. And really the difference is being outdoors as opposed to indoors like we are. What I'm hoping for is that we have the fans in time for the playoffs. That's really what's missing. I think it's been a challenge for our players to stay motivated at home. I think we actually have a better road record than we do at home. It's tough to play without that feedback, without that energy that the fans bring. And I believe the Laker fans are the best fans in the NBA. So we're missing a big part of our team when we don't have Laker fans in the building.
Jeanie, before I let you go, let me give you a prediction. Once the fans return, it will be, I'm talking about on the part of the players towards the fans towards the players. There will never be a greater appreciation for sports and the climate that fans create than it will be once we're all able to get back into the arena. You agree with that?
I am in complete agreement with you. The fans are such a big part of what makes sports so fun and exciting. And before you let me go, I wanted to thank you for, I heard your list of sports movies, and I really enjoyed hearing your thoughts on sports movies, but I have to add maybe one or two just because of the sports business side of things.
Okay.
I think Moneyball was a really great insight
I like
to how
that.
people in the front office, and of course Jerry Maguire, and that was an Oscar-winning movie. Cuba Gooding Jr. was fantastic in that movie, but that also shows the business side. So I just have to give you my 2 cents about sports movies.
Jeanie Buss, once again, you've shown the world that you're much smarter than me. I can't believe I didn't have Jerry Maguire as top 2. It's my fault I stand corrected, Jeanie. I got to redo my whole list because Jeanie Buss corrected me. You're absolutely right. I should have had Jerry Maguire as top 2. Show me the money. Cuba Gooding Jr., the great Tom Cruise. You are absolutely right, Jeanie. You got me.
I love you, Stephen A. Thank you for
Love you
having
too.
me on.
Thank you so much for being on. Take care. See you soon.